Okay, is this working now? I hope it finally works because my microphone was messing me up. So yes, welcome guys. But first up, let me open up my beer. Yes, that's a good start for me. So welcome guys. It's been about a month since I did the last live stream and also about a month since I did the last video. So I've been lazy here maybe, but I've been a bit busy the last month. So yeah. But first off, welcome guys, Peter, Green Beret Wolf, Mr. Fancy Pants. I was thinking of the game when I read that name. And Clone HD, I think I have everybody so far. So yeah, welcome. So the last month has been pretty good for me so far. I've got a few small builds done. I've been upgrading my Lego room a little bit. I got a new job, which is great, making more money now. And that is also the main reason why I've been a little bit less busy with YouTube. As well, I need to get a little bit more in a new rhythm because of the new job. And I also hope that the wind isn't too bad when you're listening now, because it's kind of windy today. So I hope that's not too bad for you guys. One thing, Green Beret Wolf, if you're still watching, last stream you did like a super chat, and I ended up building a vehicle and part of it was paid with your money. So thank you so much for that. And if you send me a private message, I will gladly send you the LDD files for it so you can build your own. And I'm talking about the following build. Let me get it. It's a small car from, as well as from France and Italy. It was designed by the Fiat and also built by Simca. Also, is the stream working all right? Because my Google Hangout thing is kind of freaking out. Let me check. Because it's kind of odd for me. Okay, thanks Vince Pence for saying yeah, it should be fine. Nah, just because Google Hangouts is kind of flashing and doing weird stuff, I was worried it was messed up. But yeah. Let me get the photo of it. But it's a Fiat 500 Topolino and or the Simca 5. A mid-1930s design. Share screen. Yeah, but really Google Hangout is freaking out for me. So yeah, that's kind of confusing. But yeah, so if you now can see on the stream here, are the cars that I've been working on this month. On the left is the fan version, and on the right is the normal version, the standard version you could find. It was quite a fun build to do. The front or the mudguards on the front are inspired by the Peugeot I made at the start of the year, and I kind of took off from there. It's also a little bit smaller, and the only thing that are really missing are the headlights, because I couldn't figure out to make that look that good. And it should be like, I would have loved it to have a late plate lower, but yeah, that was a bit too much to ask to get it to plate lower. The headlights is something I would like to figure out, but in a whole, it looks good enough for me. I find it a fun little car to build. For the rest, it didn't see a lot of military uh, action or history it has, because so far I've could seen the French didn't use it at the start of the war, and the Italians maybe a little bit. The real users were the Germans. The Germans pretty much took these everywhere they could, but these aren't like the most great cars to have. Like the fan version on the left, I've seen photos of that being built on a small ambulance, and also on the right was used, but it's really a tiny car. If I would stand next to it, I would be my head would be clearly above it. It's like really low, it's really small, so this isn't like a great car to use for military service. There are other cars you could better have, like a Peugeot that I want to build, because you can fit 4, maybe 5 people in it, and you can take a lot of more gear along with it, and this is just tiny, so not the best car to use. Let me check the stream for a moment. Peter started with a Pentiet. Is that a question to me? If so, no. Stream is fine. Yay. Iris Haretubus. Car looks good, thanks. Mr. Fancy Pants. Just cheat and super glue the headlights. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be like more like God, like using sticky tag. Hey, Albert, finally took some shitty photos of my super large brick mini collection. Want to see? Ooh, I would be interesting in seeing a few photos. Also, Mr. Red Brewing Wolf, if you didn't hear me earlier, the cars that I built here are partly your fault, because you did a super chat last month. So if you personally contact me, if you go to my about page, and under that you have like a thing to personal contact me. If you send me contact me, you can get the LDD files of these 2 cars as a little thanks for being so generous. But if you have like a link to where we can see this photo, I will also share it on screen. But for the rest, also built one other thing this month, and that's built. It's a tricycle, or a triporteur in French, or in Dutch. Bakfiets, yeah. But because I was last month or so, I've been kind of playing around with small little details from marks, like housing details, like chairs and big faces and so on. I also want to build like a small tricycle, and this is the one I came up with. The wheels I'm using at the front, where the bin, or however you want to call it, the wheels that I use there are of those not bicycle, wheelchair wheels, the new ones from that came out, I think, last year. But it's not it's a nice and sturdy build for its size. I'm really happy with how it's came out. If you want to be first to go to Facebook and look up. Yeah, I don't think it's won't let me post a link. Damn it. Um, Facebook. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I don't really use. I don't have Facebook myself. That's a little bit of a problem. So I can't find it. Um, but yes, yeah. So the cars I built this month, and this one about a month ago, just after the last live stream. That are the only real builds I did this month. For the rest, the other thing I've been doing was busy with my Lego room, updating that. And do I have my memory card here? I'm just going to Flickr to find it. Yeah, here. But yes, I've been updating my Lego room. This is the other thing I've been busy with. All those blue drawers along the wall are new for me. So I'm currently sorting out a lot of parts for vehicle builds and so on for the future, for new builds. So this will make my life a little bit better. I've been pushing that moment away to buy a bunch of those for maybe a year now. But recently I got my lookbook order, something else I got earlier this month, and I kind of ran out of space in my room, which was a little bit of a problem. I received over 2,500 leaves, which is great for building trees. Not so great to store because one of those bags with 600 is the size of my head. So yeah. I'm still sorting out that stuff, so yeah. But yeah, let me get back to the chat for a little bit. Peter de Groot. I think about one Brickmania kit in my entire life. I personally never bought one myself. Sometimes I'm tempted to buy one, like the Stuka. I think I said this before, but for the rest, I rather build my own. Green Beret Wolf. I was only able to do my World War I, World War II army. My modern armies are another category. It's that kind of separates nicely to take photos of, I would say. Mr. Fancy Pants. I never got a Brickmania kit, but I have one model from a couple speed builds people had done. Yeah, you can also do that. But I have a couple back from instruction video. Nice. Couple wagons are always really hard to build. They're like this really small size. Somehow they are like really hard to do well, I think. If I'm going to build one, I'm probably going to build one with the canvas roof on top, so I can use like trans clear on the sides to cheat a little bit, but I can make it a lot smaller and much more to my liking. But the biggest thing is like the fenders, mud guards. at the front, because that's like really challenging. I haven't really seen a Lego couple wagon I liked in a whole like size goes. I've seen some really nice couple wagons that say, yeah, those look really good, but as size go, generally speaking, they're a little bit too big. Mr. Fancy Pants, which reminds me, if I could get a, which reminds me, if I should get the CB custom tech links or chose to, I only personally have my Brickmania ones. I've tried out a little bit. They are all right. I have a feeling they will break over time because of the plastic they used. The Lego ones feel a bit more flexible, so it's kind of snaps back better than the Brickmania, because it feels a little bit harder. So it seems to me it breaks easier. But and as for custom bricks, track links, I never owned those, but I personally never really liked the look of them. I only can say that I really would use them for a few models, but not for most. I generally like to use Lego ones. They are also the thinnest when it comes to size, because the Brickmania ones are a little bit thicker also. So for smaller models, I would really only use Lego ones, because I've will look better in my ID. And the Brickmania ones, because of the design, they work really well for a lot of American stuff. Some German stuff it works also really well, but some other stuff the design is a little bit off for my taste. And for the custom bricks one, I don't really like. I don't think they are bad, but the look of it, I've never been really tempted to buy any. Green Bird Wolf, I prefer Brickmanias. Peter Grootstein, Mr. Vincent, okay. Welcome, Lego Frog. Say Sam, or however you can say that. I do not see anything. Okay. Mr. Vincent, try to refresh. Green Bird Wolf. If you think those leaves are bad, try 66. My God, you have for a fortune on kits there. Peter, I prefer building in scale 144. Well, that's good for you. It's a little bit the best of both worlds in one way or another, because the majority camps are 145 and 145, and 140 it's being used, but I don't generally really notice the difference. But I also sometimes have the feeling that because some stuff works really well in 135 and 145, but if you go in between it, like dishes and so on, I think you may get stuck at times. But built in 140 scale for most, so I'm not sure. But yeah, scale is really something that's different for everybody, because you can build for so many different reasons on any scale. If you build like 145, you can maybe you have like a lower budget or less parts, so 145 you can build a bigger tank with less parts, and if you build 135, you can put a lot more detail in it. So every scale has its pros and cons, and it's really a matter of opinion. You don't need to do is with other people judge them because they built X scale and being asked about it. If anybody has seen my Battlefield 1 video, the mark that I didn't even build, you need to just check the comments. How many people going, the tank is too small, the tank is too small, the tank is too small, the tank is too small. It's really pissing off at some point, because I'm not that's because I have like when I comment, somebody comments, I get a pop-up from somebody comments. And still to this day, every now and then a new person comes, this tank is too small. I'm sitting here, oh my God, not again. This is getting so it's so tiring because it's not my build and I don't mind. So it's like not important information for me. And I like one comment wants to say, well, it's not a bad build, only the tank is a little small. But I understand if you have like a few parts. And I'm sitting here, the build is not mine. I also put it in like the description. This is really pissing me off. So yeah, scale. If you really want to grind my gears, talk about scale. Greenbird, well, you got to make a Facebook page. Like I spent an hour organizing these things. Have any of you seen the page? Yeah, I checked like put your name into Google and added Facebook in it, and it was a bit hard to find. So sorry to say. Is there any chance you can post it in another video of mine, Green Beret Wolf? Because it either ends up as spam or anything else, but I would get a pop-up right away now. The stream is having lag. Hurrah! But why is my stream lagging out now? It's like loading. Well, at least for me, because I'm having my stream also on a separate tab running along with the chat to check it. But yeah, how long have we been going? For about just 20 minutes. Okay. If you post another video once, I will watch it. But yeah, 4 people are watching. Yeah, what can I talk more about? Oh yeah, I bought something. Something on. Also bought some new minifigures I can show off. Share screen. The stream is lagging because I'm. Share screen. But yeah, I bought some minifig Ross or the minifig company minifigures now for the first time. They were quite expensive, but I really liked them. And also the BFF ones, the Dunkirk ones. And they also have like the map of Theos Run. They're really great quality. It's the first time. Well, it's not the first I own. I won early this year someone from a contest from Neighborhood Bricks, but they were a little bit older. These are like designs of this year, and they are really nicely detailed. So I'm really pleased. With these. I may use them for a scene I'm going to do this year, but for the rest, yeah, and especially future builds, because these are like my first proper British soldiers. I only have the torsos I use from the Indiana Jones line, the general one. Also, I got your link now, and yes, I see something. Fuck off. Yay, Facebook is being a dick. Yeah, I need to sign in for this, but I can't find it now. Yeah, but I'm not going to make a Facebook account. I'm really against Facebook or using it myself, but I see your French stuff and some British stuff, Longest, I think, and I see Russian stuff, and Do you also have the Stuka? Can I, if I look here, do you have like, is that the Stuka? I think you do have a great collection from what I can see of it. Ah, it's a brick productions. Welcome, hello. But yeah, from what I can spot with my eye, this looks like one hell of a collection. And I'm jealous for it that you're having the Stuka, because at the time when it came out, I was in between jobs, so I wasn't like I'm going to spend that much money on a Brickmania kit or anything like that. So I was really tempted to buy it. So yeah, but great collection, I would say, from what I can see. So yeah, but yeah, but going back to my British shoulders, yeah, I really like these. They are from a really good quality, quality print. The one thing I already did was switch out the flesh color with yellow, because everything, all my minifigures are in yellow. So yeah, they already have different faces and whatnot. I kind of hoped them to use them for a build next year. This year I'm not planning to do any more marks. And for next year, I'm kind of planning on doing a much larger project than I did this year, or all the ones I did this year, like 3 times as big. So yeah, I'm also not planning on doing the Battle of France, any marks on that the coming year. The only thing I may do is like use these for like a scene, but not really in do anything with the French now, because I did it this year so much, it's overkill at this point. This time around, what I'm currently having in my head to do is like the Mediterranean, like the Battle of Crete, or like Operation Husky, the invasion of Sicily, or maybe even Italy. So working more with Fallschirmjägers, Italian armor. So yeah, and we'll be going to Hallenberg next year. Good question, Flat. If I'm going to do that build, it will be for Hallenberg, and it will be. I kind of want to do it, but as size goes on, 6 gray base plates in size, so it would be more than a meter long and like closer to 150, I think, nearly 120, and like 80 centimeters deep. So that will be quite a massive size, and that would be for Hardenberg. Pretty much, I want the mocks that I did this year are all built over the majority of the year. The 3 I did in a month or less, so that was quite fast. And this I want to do like in a time period of 6 months, mainly because I need to buy a lot of parts. I'm not even close to being prepared for this. As minifigures go, parts just to build a mark. But I am kind of looking forward. If I can nicely work out design, I have something quite good in my head. But if I can work it all out, this should be quite massive. And also probably going to do several update videos on it at that point, because a little bit like what Clone Trooper does, like not every week. Oh god, no, not that, because I do want to keep it towards the end like a kind of a surprise what I'm going to show off. But I do really want to make something special for next year and something bigger than before. Because this year I was kind of getting back into like mock building. Like the last few years, I've been really focusing on vehicle building, and that's at the point I'm really satisfied with it. But just building mocks always has been one of those things I haven't been really that busy with, or only like scenes, and those are really different. So yeah, and this year I was kind of getting into it, kind of gets a bit more of a feel for how to do detailing properly, and really bring it to a level that I like, because last time the 2 years ago was until this year the last time I did a proper mark for Hallenberg, and that was, if I compare that to now, it's a world of difference. So yeah. So yeah, 7 people still watching. Do you guys have any questions for me? Anything at all? Something you guys want me to talk about? Hear me talk about? Something you guys need more your opinion on? Whatever, let me know, because I kind of want to stop rambling myself and work towards questions. Maybe get a bit of a conversation going. And for my Dutch viewers, because at least one is watching now, has anybody been to Lego World? As a question to you guys here in the Netherlands. Mr. Fancy Pants, are you thinking of making a Sherman? The Sherman tank, not really, but I may need to do one for next year if I'm going to do like more, like I said, Mediterranean stuff. So maybe it's not that high on my list. If I need to choose, I would rather build an M3 Lee or M3 Grand, the British version of the M3. And then in a full desert camo. I really like the look of that. Mr. Frenchy Pants, another pink tank. No, not for now. The only thing I may want to do is look into the pink parts that have been released in the last 2 years after I built the pink M3D, because if there are some new good parts to use, I may actually update the design. The same goes for my Ghouls and Panzers Stuk, the red one. I kind of want to look into updating the design, making it a little bit better. Compared to the Stuk is a better one, but I want to look into it to see if it can make it even better. Green Breath, you should do the Gothic line. Let me give a quick look on what that was. Yeah, that's. Oh, it's still the Gothic line was the German defense line after the Italian campaign of World War II. It formed Field Marshal Albert Kesselring / major line of defense along the summits of the northern part of the Alpine Mountains during the fight for retreat of the German forces in Italy against the Allied forces in Italy, commanded by General Sir Harold Alexander. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Destroyer. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there may be something to do. I was personally more focusing on Sicily, or maybe even the Battle of Monte Cassino, because also a lot of Fallschirmjägers were being used there. I was kind of going that route, but yeah, that's also a good suggestion. I will keep that in mind, Green Red Wolf. Peter de Groot, I made a Flickr account a while ago. Didn't I follow you? I think I did. I'm not sure. You could do a pink tiger suspense. I have been thinking about that, but what I remember on parts being available to me, that's a bit of a hard one to do. In 145, it should be more than doable, but 135, my scale that I usually build, I think that's a bit too much of a challenge at the moment. Or some big dishes and whatnot should have been being released last year. I don't follow you. Uh, I think I've seen you passing by at least. So yeah, but I follow so many people, so sometimes it's a bit. Also, have you guys seen the new Brick Arm releases, the Adrian helmets? What do you guys say of those? If any one of you already bought a few of those or have those already? I'm waiting on Brickissimo to release them in their store, so I can buy them there, and I will have them the same week I buy them and not need to wait for a few weeks. But I'm really looking forward to get at least enough for my French army that I have now and replace the um, Lego helmets that I'm using for my French soldiers. Korean Red Wolf currently trying to make a Flickr page for stuff. Yeah, you should do. Many Lego builders are on Flickr, also on Instagram, Facebook. I don't know. Flickr is like, for me, I know, like the biggest community of military builders at least, and many more. So if you want to see a lot of awesome stuff and at that point see a lot more stuff from me, you should follow me on Flickr. But yeah. Peter, oh, I follow you, so I think you saw my name there. Let me check. I can check that list. Who is following me? Mm-mm-mm. People, let me look. I found you. Now I should be following you. Mm. Man, the Lorraine dudes, I'm following you. Yeah, I think I know that you're following me. So yeah. But yeah, if you want to see most of my work or more of what I'm doing, you should. If you follow me on Flickr, you will see most. I do try to be more active here, but taking a photo and uploading it takes like 5 minutes, and making a video and editing it and uploading to YouTube takes several hours. So yeah, that's a little bit of the difference in ease, and I like it when I have it easy. But I hope to do the coming time more videos again, more vehicles, videos on vehicles like my new cars, and I still have a lot of stuff to show here. So I've done 2 videos with the turning disc thing. For the next one, I kind of want to try something else because I do like it that you can spin it around and show it off properly, but at the same time, sometimes for like doing reviews, I think my voice generally is not good enough, at least for doing like numbers and stuff. Yes, because I really need to focus and well, if I do well, that's not. If I'm trying to do that, but also showing off the vehicle on my own, like handling it, I kind of have a hard time. For me, because and also currently having that problem now, but because English is not my first language, it's not that easy for me to properly or think naming up all the numbers and saying everything correct for me. So it's kind of pissing me off. So I'm just still trying to find my style, and that's, well, showing off a model properly and giving the information. It's either like talking or just showing it off. But the rest of the video 2 I did were okay. Shows off the vehicle properly, but at the same time, I may want to try again to talk over it again, or try. Well, now I want to try. It's a little bit different, but it's more personal again with me just talking over it. So, but it also helps more of an interesting or more of a personal setup to take photos in with my upgraded table, because before you had like an ugly wall to look at, and now with all the drawers, it's a bit more interesting to take photos of. It's a bit more messy, and messy in a good way for me to even record from. So yeah. Mandarin Dude Flickr is so easy to use. My username is random Lego Dude. Yeah, it takes time. I'm half Korean. It's pain sometimes, And your English is fine. Yeah, my English in general is fine. But one thing I did notice, because when I did reviews before, like when I'm handling the model and having the camera between me and everything, is first off, I need to think too much about the numbers. So one thing I'm probably thinking of doing is like, I start recording with this mic. I'm just gonna ramble on and on about the vehicle for what I at that moment remember and I feel like talking about, and add like the important details like scale within the screen itself. So at some point you get a little pop-up of this is scale, built to scale 135 and stuff, and maybe if I mess up with dates or anything or hard numbers that I can say, I will just put it in screen, make my life a lot easier, and like stuff like names. Thing I noticed if I start to think too much is I'm starting to lip smack. If I just ramble on along like now, I don't really do it, but if I really need to think about stuff and it's not really flowing for me, I start to lip smack. And that's really annoying because I need to edit it out. You generally can edit out good enough, but it's a pain to do. Mandarin dudes say my English is horrible and my grandma's bad too sometimes. My friends say, can you speak English? Sometimes makes me mad. Peter, do you know some good suspension techniques? Do you have like a vehicle in mind or anything in mind for what you're looking? Are you looking for like actual suspension? So if like build like a Panther, the suspension comes up and down, so it's yeah, what's the word, springy or whatever? Or do you just mean how it looks like, the way I do like something like my Panzer IV, my CV tankets? Because because it really depends on the build. If you have a bigger tank, it generally is a little bit easier to do, and how smaller and more complicated it gets, it's tricky. Do I have anything something I can show? That's, yeah, this is a hard one to answer. If you have anything in mind to specifically build, I can maybe point at a few. I'm thinking of a suspension that moves up and down. Well, there are several ways you can do that. I never have built a vehicle with suspension myself. Well, have I built any one before? Not really. You have several options. Easiest way is getting one of those technic lift arms. Yeah, if you're doing a penta, you could take technique lift arms like let me look. Dishes 3 wide, so that's what should be like a 5 long lift arm, or is yeah. I think I'm not going to try this out in real life now, but if you take a lift arm of a Technic set, put a pin in the middle of it, an uneven number is best for this, and put it to a plate with a hole on it or a brick with a hole. And on the other side, you put like the dishes and do that several of those the correct number. It will work, but you can make it as complicated as you want. You can like add like rubber bands into it. If you look it up on Flickr and look around, and maybe even YouTube, I think there are several examples along there. But Flickr. I hope I typed this correctly because I'm a dyslexic. So yeah, sometimes I fuck up words. Mesh Defense Band. Peter, I have a pencil free in digital design that has a suspension on it. If you like a copy, I could check it out. Yeah, if you guys like sharing, you should. But building a suspension, if you listen properly what I just said, it's possible. It's not too hard to figure something out. But generally speaking, the vehicles that I built are a little bit too much on the small side to make a working suspension. Oh, you posted on your Flickr. Is it Seeing the Red Wolf? Hello, Legion Wait Say channel. Welcome to the stream. I will check Flickr, and once I found it, I will put it for one and all. Is your name the same as here on? I think this is it. Let me look. No, that's not it. And Red Wolf, if you would be so kind to follow me on Flickr or anything, so I can find you, be swell. But once I found you, even if it's after the stream, I would look it up. Mandarin dude, your setup is so good. You're talking about mine? Wow, if that's so, well, thank you. Oh, you posted a link. Let's have a look. Tube, another tab. Okay, red speech bubble, show me. Yes, there it is. Well, is it professional? It's mostly still a mess and needs to be sorting out. I know people that are a lot better worked out than me. but my room isn't also that much bigger. Ooh, yeah, I see photos. Okay, share screen. Share second screen. All right, let's start here. I think your video, because it generally takes a while to render once you upload it, I think that's not up yet, but we can look at the photos, everybody. I see Cherry 1, the Soap with Camel, the Matilda, the Sherman, Rolls Royce, Brent Gun Carrier, 25 pounder, Mark IV, and some minifigures. I think either the Cherry 1 would be my favorite or the Matilda. So, nice Allied collection you have there already. And this should be the Russians. Katyusha, I think I said it right. The IS-2, I presume, T-44 76, one of those cannons, the Sturmovik, the Su-88, all very nice. Okay, we have some German armor here. Okay, Pack 40, I think, German BMW motorcycle. Howitzer something, 88, Messerschmitt, Panzer III, Panzer IV, Stuck, Panzer, Oshlepper, SDKFZ 250, SDKFZ 251, 222, Panzer II, Stuka AFV7, and custom rigs Stuck. Favorite one here is probably the Stuka. Oh, Brick Move, welcome. Okay, some more allied stuff. I spot LVT, if I'm right. The priest, a Sherman, another Sherman, another Sherman, a green Pershing or Chaffee, the M8 Stuart. Is that called the M8 Stuart, or does that little bugger have another name? But it's the M8 with the howitzer on the M5 chassis, the M3 health track, the British Jeep, the M3 gun, I think, Howard something, and many more American soldiers, also really nice. Is the M8 Scott? Okay. More of the same. And yes. Oh, and is that the M10 or the M36? It's one or the other. But a really nice collection, and also really large. How many are that? One. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 40, 41. That's quite a a collection over 40, and then you have also your modern collection. So yeah, I won't say quite jealous because I'm not really that interested in all the French stuff, but some of the most I'm quite jealous that you have. I would also like those. 49, maybe I miscounted. Oh well. Can I send a picture in the chat, Mr. Fancy Pants? I don't know if you can. If you can do it, pick another video and just pick one of, open another tab and pick one of my videos. Comments will pop up and I will check it out. But yeah, overall, nice collection. Expensive collection also, but yeah. Yeah, I can see that you have some issues with storing all those. Whoa. Mandarin dude, whoa, Green, you spent so much money on Brick Man. Mine only has one tank, and mine only has one tank review. I'm always willing to send instructions. Well, for like the Stuka, I'm really tempted to say yes in a way. So maybe. I just sent a link one of your videos. Okay, I will stop sharing screen for a moment. No pop-up. I just sent a link to one of your videos. Oh, is the link for a video? Maybe try here. Check my spam. I will check the spam comments for a moment. Brick move. I prefer collecting minifigures. Oh wait, I have a link here. No, not from me. The ones from Green Beret Wolf didn't end up in spam. I actually got the links from him. But yeah, I found your photo. But before I show that, I want to get back on previous comment on collecting vehicles and minifigures. I kind of see it going hand in hand because at some point earlier this year, I had more French vehicles than French soldiers, and at that point there was I was at the point from I need more minifigures. Just at some point, if I only collect vehicles, at some point I was gonna go, yeah, I need more figures. So it kind of goes hand in hand, and it kind of goes hand in hand. I generally would like to have more minifigures from a nation than vehicles, because if I'm going to do a mock, I think vehicles feel nicely and are always nice to look at, but if I don't have any minifigures to go along, that's kind of a problem. So the coming time, I'm probably going to invest more in minifigures and small little details like that, but I like both. And minifigures are easier to store. But now let me show, I can show you off that photo, and you can also see a bit of suspension work. But it's the same idea that I was talking about for Peter just now. What you can see on the Panzer III is that he uses the lift arms. To the lift arms, he connects the wheels, and the lift arms he connects with a pin to either a brick or a plate with a hole in it. So that way you have an easy way of building suspension. So this is a way of doing suspension. You also have like other builders that have like larger model sales that work like with different techniques on doing it. But this is quite literally the most basic way of doing it. So yeah, this is so far I know literally the most basic and most common way of building a suspension, and also the easiest. And from this you can make it more complicated. What you also can do is, like, instead of using a lift arm with 3 holes, you can use like one for one like 5. I think you need 5 or 7, so you have like 3 wheels on one bit that moves up and down, or 4, and that's really up to you. But you can really work with this idea and grow from there. So yeah, and for the rest, a nice little pencil free you have there. Any comments or dislikes I have on it? No, it's really a neat little build to start off with. Mandarin dude, got to go. Bye. Until next time. Home it says gentle. Hi Rebla, welcome. I think you're French. Looking at well, green bird wolf. I think it's too small. I think it's pretty much on scale. Because my Panzer IV, not Panzer IV, my Stug, is also pretty much the same size. Let me get a photo of it. Let's have a quick look. Green Bread is now following you. I will also follow you back if I haven't clicked that yet. But yes, this is my Stug. If you can, for me, the screen still needs to refresh, but this is my Ghouls and Panzer Stug. But yes, it's more or less the same length, what I can make out of it, as this Panzer III here. But the only real difference with the Panzer III and my Stug is that I went with a double-sided row of tracks on each side, and he went with a single. But if I check the comments from Mr. Fence Spence, that pencil is my budget build. I'm too poor. I know the feeling. I was a college student a few years ago, and I was still building, but I didn't have that much money. So tracks are expensive. So stuff like that, I know you're paying very well. But now I have a job and make more money, so I can spend more on Lego. Yay! Sometimes I'm a bit worrying on how much I spend. Yeah, but as size go, because mine is going back to the whole size thing. Mine is 10 wide. If I look at the Panzer IV here, it's also 10 wide, so that's not bad. As length goes, we use about the same size of field. The name it's the same amount of spacing, so length is pretty much the same. The only thing is different that I use a slightly smaller road wheel here in the back, and the other thing that the Panzer III has, the ass is kind of overhanging, which I can't really see. But if you check photos, the ass of the Panzer III kind of sticks out from the track setup. It's like it sticks like a stud out, and I can't really see it, but I think it lines up about the same. So maybe you can make the ass a little bit longer. But for the rest, if this scale 145, I think you're pretty much spot on. And for a budget build, this is really not that bad. So yeah, I think you're pretty much spot on with size. And you can always make it look a little bit more pretty with adding gear and whatnot. That's one of the things that sometimes really helps setting it apart. Green red. I think Once Divided would be a good. Everything else seems normal. I disagree with the Once Divided because I'm pretty sure he's pretty much on point because everybody else does 10 white and this is a 10 white build. The only difference is here: are you going to use like one row of tracks or two? That makes it look different. So I think the double row, I personally like it more. But if you're working on a low budget, that's tracks are really expensive. So yeah. Oh my god, the comments are speeding up. Brit Move, I will do a live stream in this week for the same reason as you. Yeah, I hope to do more videos soon. Wave Archive, please follow me too. I follow you. Delta Medic, I already follow you on Flickr, on YouTube, and I follow this channel also. I see your videos. I don't comment on everyone, but the one with the spinning tank was a lot of fun. Greenbird Wolf, did you see they are starting an inside the chieftain hedge for the chubby? Yes, of course, I follow them. I was waiting for this one. They started with the R35 and the FCM 36 and was, come on, chubby one, come on, do it. Yes, come on. I really want to see that one. And so glad that you are doing it. I watched it like an hour after it came out already this week. So the next one should be up, I think, coming week. And I'm really looking forward to see the inside because I I need to build a new one myself. But it's kind of fun to see because I also because when I look up a tank, I do look up like the battle history and so on, and where it was used and for how long it was used, but generally not how it's built up. And one of the things that I know already learned is like it has like you can access the engine quite easily from the inside, so you don't need to open up hatches from the outside, which I believe I didn't know, or maybe Mania mentioned it when they showed off their kit. But for the rest, yeah, I'm really looking forward to see the inside recorded. Yeah. Simon, don't mention me on Skype that you follow me. Peter, can you give me some advice on my pencil model on Flickr? Stop sharing screen for a moment. I will go back to that. Damn it, the comments are going too fast. People, is there an easy way for doing this? Yeah, let's do this. Mr. Fastman, I can show you my sassy Panzer freeze ass. Oh my gosh. I see a Panther. Advice on my Panther model on Flickr. Yes, I have it in front of me now. Share screen. Share. Okay, your Panther. I think this is the latest version. Yes. Okay. First off, nice camo. That's quite nice. For the rest, let me look up a Panther picture on my other screen. First off, I want to say the front gear. I would look for a bigger one. This one, I would kind of get one of these ones and turn it around and work it more towards the front. So that's looks more like the real thing because the front gear was quite big. That would be the first thing I would do. For the rest, the track setup for the rest is pretty good. The slope here, I would say try to improve this bit of the sloping. It's should be a bit more angled down. It's now a bit too flat. Do I say that correctly? Those are the only things I would really look into. This bit and this bit. I left 2 notes on it, but that are the only 2 real things I would personally kind of look into a bit more. For the rest, it's not too bad. It's quite nice. You really have like a nice solid camo going. Also, like proper 4-tone camo going on. So I like that. If it's like not like really messy, this looks quite all right to look. It's quite pleasing to the eyes. And let's have a look at the rear. I would say the rear is quite good. Nicely angled. A bit of a gap here, but it's not. You can't always avoid it. And you have a nice exhaust system going on. So yeah, I wouldn't say too bad at all. Where you got the Jack ID from? From my Panzers? Who did? I saw someone else doing it. It's not my idea, but I also can't really remember. I think it was like Panzer Bricks, the Italian, Spanish, Panzer. I think it was this guy. It could be somebody else entirely. I don't know. It's been 2 years since I started using that, and it's like the standard Jack, the German shield. So I've been using it for 2 years. So I think it was. I got it from this guy, but I'm not sure anymore. But you're talking about this bit, so yeah, I think it was from here. Green bird. His is 7 wide, not 10. It's 10 wide. The body bit is 8 wide, and with the tracks it's 10. And mine is 6 wide, and with the tracks it's 10. So yeah. But that, yeah, in the end of the day, that's also your personal opinion. But overall, it's not that bad of a model. The Panzer 3 we were talking about. Dylan Curtis. Hi, Rob. I love your mugs. Could you check out my Flickr? It's the ABS photographer. Let's have a look. But first down, I need to catch up a little bit with the comments. Mr. Fence Band, the tank used to be 12 wide. Yeah, that's too much. 10 wide, you're on the money. I just built a kitten card right now. I might post it, maybe not. But yes, Brick Move. What do you think about the Opel Blitz by Brickman? That's actually quite nice. I for the last year, because some things I've done earlier this year with the cars I built, it kind of gave me an idea for an Opel Blitz myself on how to do like the front. But some of the things that Brickmania did, like the doors with the sloped pieces, is actually quite nice. It does feel a little bit too big, but it's a pretty good design in the overall. It's one of their better ones. Yeah, if you really want to talk about Brickmania and designs that really make me question what the hell they are doing, they posted one this week, early this week. So yeah, this it's quite literally like made me say, "What the fuck?" Because this was, yeah. I feel like they gave up at some point with building this one, because when like the chassis of the gun is pretty, it's okay, it's quite nice, because I built this one also early this year myself. So the lower part, I some parts I quite like and I can accept, but the barrel is just. Uh, sorry, Dan, but this is not your strongest model. Oh my god. That is the thing with me for Brickman. They sometimes produce models I really want to buy, like Stuka, and sometimes most of the models like it's quite alright. It's nothing wrong with it, and every now and then they also would produce one that's just, yeah. It is this one is what no, just no. But I'm still seeing what they're doing, because if you check the image, they are going for the transport version. So I think the gun actually can move, because that's a thing the real thing could do. Because if they would place it in transport position, the gun would on the recoil system would be moved back more to the middle, so the weight is a lot better. So and if I've been checking out a little bit, I've seen a few hints here and there that it actually can. It probably can move. I'm not 100% sure, but it's probably can move for that reason. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see the end result, but this is probably not my favorite one of their models. So yeah. But moving on in the chat. Brick Productions, der von Lucas ist besser und von Mr. Fancy Pants. But I really like how Rebla made the French resistance guy in camo in Taliban. Well, that wasn't the French resistance, that was the French army. And that was the French army camo. So that wasn't the resistance, that was properly the French army. The only thing I kind of dislike, I've been placing my models also a little bit different just before the live stream, is that the rims, hood caps are on light bluish gray, and the rest is like in full-on camel. That's the only little nitpick I have about that models that I may need to fix in the future. But for the rest, I really like it. Can you guys please don't go German on me? I can read a little bit of German and understand a little bit of it, but it's not my strong suit. I didn't. Yeah, it was cool. All of the stuff he built for him was good. Yeah, this year going to Hollenberg was a lot of fun with Lucas and Mola God and another Dutch builder that was also staying next to us, and I know from my Luke. So yeah, Hardenberg was a lot of fun this year. The year before that, 2016, it was a little bit less fun for me, but it also was kind of because I didn't take a mark along at that point, which I regretted in the end. So yeah, so this year, Hardenberg was awesome. And Lucas and Molly God are also pretty cool dudes. Only Molly God is a little bit of a cheater, I learned with sticky tag. I never expected it from him. How heroes can fall. Mr. Fenceblade, the pen turret is very nice. However, it does seem like the turret is a bit too forward. What's this? Yeah, maybe could be worse, I think. Der von Lukas ist sehr einfach nachzubauen. Mr. Flintstones, I know, right? Mr. Flintstones, but first, I know, right? Me. Fuck. Before I start reading, I'm sorry, but I'm reading it, and I generally want to give my opinion, Mr. Green Beret Wolf. So I take my time. Sorry. But my chat went a bit too far. Brick move, bye. Bye, Brick move. But you're probably gone by now. I can't wait. I made an Africa car Panzer, and most of the bricklink parts are on the way. Yay, good for you. Green Beret, I'm not talking about Panzer 3. I was talking about Morlogat's Sturmpanzer. Okay. But I don't have any tanks, by the way. I do buildings. Okay. Nice, Dylan. Oh my god, print screen that one. You really do have too much money, Green Beret Wolf. Mr. Fancy Pants, I've sent a link of my British M5 to us. Okay, refresh YouTube. Then, Curtis, do you think I should do a Ronald FT from? Well, an FT 17 is quite nice, and you can also use it for World War II because it was even used until the end of the Second World War. It wasn't of any great use, but it was still being used. So, so yeah, I would go for it. Also, it's a quite small thing, so it doesn't eat a lot of parts. So yeah, if you feel like it, go for it. So let me check. Oh wait, it's probably in the spam folder again, that photo. Community. I will get to that photo in a little bit. I'm also caught up to the chat again. Hoorah! It's a bit of Brian Fitz design. Okay. Green Beret Wolves, guys, stop commenting so he can catch up. No, don't stop commenting, because once I catch up, I have nothing to talk about. It's quite that's a little bit of a problem, because the first part of the chat I was like just rambling on about myself, and then at that point, it was okay. I want to talk more to you guys, so I want more comments. So they are quite welcome. But if I talk about one comment for a minute or two or longer, it takes some time to catch up. But Kareem Beret Wolf, that you gave me another super chat. Green Beret Wolf. One thing I will contact you later on Flickr, so we can talk about it then. But yeah, I will get back on that for you. But going to the Stewart design, and we're all caught up in the chat for now. So first impressions, that's not bad. Looking at it, it's quite solid. The one thing I do already spot is some of the parts you use, like the round 1x1 round tail in light bluish gray, I don't think it comes in that color. So that may be a bit of a problem for you. It has, so far I can see the correct slope and everything at the front, and also this seems to be correct. Turret seems fine. It's also a bit of the roof is also slightly sloped down, it seems, which is also very nice. One thing I would try to fix is maybe this little gap towards the rear. So yeah, in the overall, it looks quite good. Also a little bit of a gap here, maybe probably a limitation of LDD, so maybe you're gonna fill that in. But overall, it seems like a relatively solid design for me when I look at it. So yeah, really not too bad. It's also 8 wide, it seems, which is also good. So yeah, nothing to complain here. Greenbird Wolf, I would like to see you do the cutting line, as it was a great percent of Canadian tankers taking on superior German armor. Gothic line, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that next, because like I said before, the mark that I kind of want to do next year is going to be quite massive, and I'm kind of already planning for it. So maybe I need to do some more research, but maybe some Canadians did thoughts around that, so maybe I can do something with it. I'm not sure, but I need to properly look into it. But yeah. Right now I'm working on the sloping of my Panther. Well, I hope you can work something out. I'm sure you can. The Panther is quite a big tank, and the amount of space in front of that to work with should be quite good. So I think you can try out several things with the space you have. I sometimes work on my smaller models and really have zero space to work with, so it could be worse, I think, on working on. How long have we been going? Well, 1.5 hours. Time is going fast. Mr. Fancy Pants, well, I hope it helped, but like an overall set, it's quite a solid design to start with. So yeah, if you're building it, have fun building it. Greenbird, have you ever heard of the German Time with Wunderwaffe? Let me Google it. I'm more of a somebody that remembers images than. Did you spell it right, or? Yeah. Yeah. The first word I don't quite get. The Typhon. I know what the wonder weapons are, like your V1 and V2 rockets and some of the jets, but is it one of those jets or anything? Because when I just Google it, I get other stuff, which is a little bit confusing. So yeah. I'm about to run out of pieces. I know that feeling. It's a little rare, as the one set of examples was blown up around St. Lo. Okay, so yeah, then I probably need to do some proper digging up, but I'm not going to do that in a live stream, because me looking up information be quite boring. Sorry to say. Not that I don't want to look it up, but I do want to do some proper research, but I'm not going to do that now. Mm-mm-mm. But another version was used against the Poles during the Warsaw Uprising. Okay. Peter, trying to add a machine gun up front. As for the Panther, you don't really need to. I think they in later versions removed the machine gun, so you don't even have to do that. If I'm right, versions, because I do think they did remove it, or I'm thinking of something completely else now on the Panther tank. So yeah, still 7 people watching, quite good. It's basically a bomb that replicates what happens before a coal mine explodes. Okay, that sounds. Wunderwaffen. Bombs and explosion. This is not what I'm looking for. Anyway, let me get back to the chat. Fills the air full of coal and lots of flammables, and then sets it on fire. Well, that gives a good explosion at least. Mr. Fancy Pants, Peter Groot, go full Leonard and used double-sided or glue and hope that no one knows. No, please don't do that. Don't be such a cheat. My dreams, a bit of innocence was lost there when I recorded that bit. Oh my God. Why did you do that? Yes, I do have Steam. I have quite a few games. Should I show it off? Well, only a few people are watching, so the risk of people following me is something I can live with. But I have Steam. What should now pop up is my Steam account. Hear the wind because it's quite windy today, which kind of sucks because I'm next to a roof or on the same height as the roof. So yeah, people are already following me. Hurrah! But yeah. I'm giving you this one. But no, this is my Steam account. Crazy. Last few days I've been playing Assassin's Creed Unity. I only bought it recently when it was off, and it's working quite fine now. The only problem with it is that I need to shut off my internet when starting it up, or else it crashes on startup. But once it's going, it's quite alright. Gameplay goes as like controls. It's a bit wonky. The story is pretty good. The first part of the story is not really my cup of tea, but the later part, I really got into it. So I quite like the story. The city itself is quite beautiful. So yeah, this is not the worst. I also recently, when I bought this Assassin's Creed, and I played 30 minutes of it, and was like, I'm not going to play any more of this for now. For the rest, anything, especially anything else. Also, a big fan of the Bioshock series franchise. Ones, because they still crash for me even to this day, even when they are patched, still suck. So I only play the originals. Also have Brothers in Arms. I haven't played that much on here, but I used to play on my old laptop. I have all the CDs of it, but I also decided to buy it here. The original Call of Duties. Another invite. If you buy Call of Duty, the original Call of Duty, I would advise buying Call of Duty United Offensive, the expansion pack, because this is really good. You can also in a B-17 shooting around. Dishonored is also quite good. Far Cry 3 is also a lot of fun. Crashes for me when I started it up. Maybe I need to try it without internet. Maybe it works for me. Also stuff like Honeypuff. Also, these are also quite good hyperdimension anime games. These are actually pretty good and pretty fun to play, because they have like all kind of Easter eggs, like Pokemon, Mario. Every game that is out there, they have like Easter eggs in the storyline. It's quite fun if you're like about gaming. Little Nightmares is also quite fun. My computer, because I really want to play on a high system, but my laptop can barely run on the high settings. Portal original is okay. It's pretty good, but I like the second one more fun. Sniper Elite is also a lot of fun. Subnautica, ooh, I haven't played it in a while, but that is also a lot of fun. Subnautica. It's like this. It is like somewhat Minecrafty, and at the same time a complete horror game at other times. It's a lot of fun. My computer, I can run it, but I need to do pretty low settings. But on early access, it's a lot of fun. Or is it out of early access already? But anyway, it's a lot of fun, and so yeah. For the rest, most played games is like Black Flag, nearly going to 200 hours. Bioshock Infinite, over 300 hours for a single player game. What is the other one? Subnautica is also where is it? Yeah, here. Subnautica is also, well, just about to reach 200 hours. So yeah, I have a bunch of games I really like. But as for Assassin's Creed, I think I'm pretty much done for it for now. I'm after this point, because in the last few years I've been playing most of them all, with the second one being the best, followed up by Black Flag, and probably that, and then you done Syndicate, something like that, in follow-up, and the last one, the original. But I've a bit of overlap. I've been playing most of them in the last few years, but I really like them in the overall, so yeah. But back to the chat, because I've been talking enough about yeah, people now are messaging me on Steam, but yeah, I'm going to catch up with the chat for a moment, because people will all lynch me. Mr. Fancy Pants, do you play Heroes and Generals? I did, but I got bored of it. I'm not really into online gameplay, like what is it? Shooters, online shooters. So it's something like if I were the new Call of Duty that's coming out. First off, my computer can't probably run it because it's probably too demanding. But the second thing is, if I buy it, I don't buy it for the multiplayer. I only buy games for single player experiences. So really, multiplayer driven games aren't really that my thing for a longer time. I do sometimes play still World of Tanks. I used to play it a lot, not as much now anymore. I also been recently playing a little bit more World of Warplanes. At that point, I have something to show you guys also on that, but multiplayer I'm not too into. Well, if you ever want to play just me or download Battleground Players Unknown, or however it's spelled, that's one of those games that I'm somewhat intrigued to get, so maybe that one. Mr. Fenton, here comes the friend from Cast. Greenbird Wolf. Offensive is my favorite cut game. I like the original. I like the missions, but I think United Offensive is a bit more better fleshed out. It has a bit more weapons and it's a bit more fun missions, and the storyline is a little bit more turned overall. So that's why I really like United Offensive. And Call of Duty 2, it's not a bad game, Call of Duty 2, but like the graphics, it's in that weird era because they kind of moved on to a bit more shiny, and the models, they still hold up pretty well, but I don't really like the look of those models. So yeah, that's why it puts me off a little bit more than it should. Mr. Fancy Pants, yeah, I have Goat Simulator. When Jacksepticeye at some point was playing it, it was like, yeah, why not? It was fun at the time, but at some point, yeah. Greenbread, he's learning to become a goat. No, I rather become like an owl at that point. Those are awesome, like turning your neck like 180 degrees around. That's pretty cool when you're flying around. Dylan Curtis, should I do a Marinade in stone or 10? I don't know. Please respond. I'm at a dilemma. Dylan, you could go for a combination. 10 is the more expensive option in general, but I think it would look a lot better if you go for light blue, light gray. It's cheaper. Parts compared, you have the stuff you like really need. Some of the bigger gears you can get in both colors. Those are quite cheap. So both colors are pretty doable to do the FT. Price wise, probably the light gray is probably a little bit cheaper than the tan one. You can also mix it up, like go for a camo with light bluish gray, light gray, and tan. I think that will also work quite well. So both colors are just as well possible. It's only one is probably a little bit more expensive. At least for when I build models in 10 or with 10, they're generally a little bit more expensive than the gray. So it's both are just as well possible. I've seen many people do both. It's just a little bit more of maybe a matter of cost, but generally speaking, in looks, 10 is a really nice color to work with as a standalone vehicle. Like Dakar vehicles, those are quite nice to have in 10 alone. So yeah. For World War One, also for World War One, well, we have a great website for this. Let's go to this for color IDs. Let's have a look at camos. Let's go. I'm not sure. Does anybody else use the Tank Encyclopedia, that online website? I use it. I use it for like good side shots and like color combinations. But we're on the page of the FT. So yeah, first one. just in, well, more dark blues, gray, and brown, your greens, your camos. This is more 10. You can actually go quite fancy with your FT tank in colors, because in World War One they did use still quite bright and colorful colors, so you can actually quite well play with it, with how you want to do it. So you can have a lot of fun with this if you're doing the World War One FT. The sky is the limit, pretty much. Into warriors, well, your browns, your tans, your dark greens. Dark green, if you also want to use dark green. Dark green is one of the most expensive colors to run in, to build with. And my friend, the few vehicles that I built, those weren't cheap, because dark green is quite expensive, and then some parts are quite cheap, but some of the parts that are a little bit rare are also quite expensive. And brown is, well, that's more than doable, but has sometimes in a few areas a few limitations. But yeah, really, like I said, the sky's the limit on what color you choose. So there's a lot of options to go with, at least. So also really depends on who uses it. You can go with a camo. French units really like to use the camo, I think. Well, the French really like to use camos. Even in World War II, they were, like at the start, they were one of the few nations they noted used any type of real camo going on with several colors. But the chat is really going. Sorry. Camels were quite common. British street build. Oh no, I was waiting for this day and I just missed most of it. Well, I'm still going. The last stream I did a month ago was going for 3 hours. So yeah, and if I generally stop this when I really can't go on anymore, because, well, I feel like it's getting a little too much, or when the chat just runs dry with comments and stuff. That I did with the last one. I was like 3 hours in, and the reason why I stopped, the questions was just stopping. I couldn't go on. And that's how I work. I generally pick a time that's quite okay for me to start at, and I just keep going until I think I'm done with it and the rest of you guys. And so this may go on for another hour at least, if we keep this going. So reach street builder, you don't miss too much. And the one thing I'm doing, I probably won't put this. You probably can't watch the back, but I probably will just unlist it. So if you just keep the link for yourself, you can watch it back. I'm not going to delete this. So yeah. Mr. Fancy Pants, I only play World of Tanks just to look at the tanks for my models. Oh shit. Dylan Curtis, I just built Ronald and it cost me 32 pounds. Pretty good. Don't have to buy it from Premier for a few hundred. Yeah, that's one thing. One of the joys when you build it yourself. You can build it to your own liking for most, and you can. It's a lot cheaper. If I would like the Stuka, that was like on Brickyssimo like 300, over 300 euro. If I would have bought it, I probably would have bought it there. For sure, the shipping times, and I needed to import it anyway. So if I want to build the Stuka myself, I probably can do it for maybe half the money, maybe a little bit more, but I think 150 or lower. I think that it would have been more than possible to do. So yeah. Fancy Pants. I pray every day that they keeps on building sets with dark red. They won't stop as long as they build like Star Wars. They won't stop. But even for normal builds, they use it quite a lot. So they're not going to stop producing gray. If anything, they're starting producing more colors, so we're getting even better. Like your olives, it's still not that big of a fan of olive in general, but it may be nice at some point if it's enough parts to be used for a camo. So yeah. I'm actually running my 10th version right now. I'm going to put it on my Flickr. Okay, nice. Mr. Fancy Pants, I wonder if a 3D printer is worth a buy. You can make endless bricks. 3D printers, yeah, the thing with 3D printers is they are cheaper to buy than like they are cheaper to get. Some 3D printers are at this point, so quite easy to do, and working out something that you want to print should be also relatively easy to do, I think, but I don't know. But producing a lot of stuff with it can be quite costly, because the thing with injections mold on what Bricks Arms likes use, those molds cost like thousands and thousands of dollars, euros, whatever, to produce, like work out and get the molds. But once you have the molds and you put it into that puts the plastic into the mold, it's dirt cheap to run. At that point, a gun costs a cent to make. So getting those molds and the stuff like that, that's the hard, the really expensive part and whatever and everything. So compared to those two, a 3D printer is more accessible to everyone, but it is of a different quality. You need if it's lower quality print, you need to sand it down a little bit and everything, so you have a lot more work of it. But with injection molds, getting to the point to having one and having like the injection machine and everything, this costs tens of thousands of dollars. Well, at least I think 10,000. Like a mold can go from $1,000 to a lot more, and one of those machines is also quite expensive. But once you have it and once you have it running, it's really cheap to run. Material at that point throwing into it's cheap, so that's the difference. One is really expensive beforehand, but once you have it running, it's quite cheap. And if you have like Brick Arms, like signed to a lot of people, you have your money out at some point. That's quite easy. And 3D printers, it's cheaper to get, and you can probably work it out yourself. So that's quite nice. So if you just need a few things, like some weapons and helmets and everything, that's not bad. But if you want to produce larger quantities, that's compared to like an injection molded or a 3D printed one, it is relatively cheap. That's also why if you go to Brickzimo, their French shoulders, they currently have 3D printed helmets. That's why those figures are like €2 to €3 more expensive than the regular ones, because the helmets are 3D printed, it really adds a lot of extra money on it. And now that Brickmania also is introducing the Adrian helmets, which it's about high time to do. I hope Brickissimo switches for all you guys, so they can bring the price down, because I think it will save at least €2 on buying a minifigure, and that's quite a lot, I think. So yeah. Mr. Fence, but I wonder if a 3D print is worth a bike, you can make it endless. I just said, then I would make a pool full of guns. You could do that, but at that point, if you want to fill a literal pool with brick arms, I would go the injection mold route because it would be more expensive, but you would be producing many more, because that's one of the other things. Like 3D printing takes some time to have like a bit done. Only thing that is not track links. Yeah, track links are quite expensive to buy. I was thinking the same, making a model frame. Or making a mold of Brickmayer, Tracklink, or the CBator, so I don't have to buy them. That will work quite in your favor, but you could try. Green Red Wolf, what is your favorite small army of World War II? My favorite small one? Ooh. Do the Italians count? Because I would go with them, because French as a whole, as like it's the start of the war, they were massive. It was massive in the people they had and machinery. So yeah, probably Italian. If anything else, probably like Sweden, maybe. Probably that is my second one, because they had some interesting own designs going on. So Italy, or if that's still too big, Sweden. I probably. Mr. Fence Pants, yeah, please cheaper than better for me. Do you know Lego Uli on Flickr? Yeah, I know him. It's been a while since he's been really active, but used to be on good speaking terms. But over time, it's kind of watered down. It's not like we hate each other, but Mr. Fence, I love how Louis made his Kubelwagen out of expensive pieces of flexo. That was just overkill. I personally don't build with brick arms. I resist to do that because I want to keep my vehicles all Lego, unless it's like an MG on the top of the roof of an Panzer IV or something. Like then it's more than logical to add a piece of brick arms. But structural scene, I don't add brick arms to my models. So for me, I personally won't do it. I don't have anything against people who are doing this, but he really pushes it sometimes with for killing it with the amount of brick arms. I think it's sometimes maybe 25 to 50% brick arms if we really start counting, which is mind-boggling. That's why you also have the Yuli clip. So yeah. But specifically, what is your favorite? Yeah. Wait a minute. What is your favorite small arm of World War II? Oh, so firearms, pistols, revolvers. Ooh, I kind of like the Luger. Yeah, the Luger. Or what? It's another one. Yeah, I think. Yeah, the Colt is awesome, but nah, not my favorite. I have to go with the Luger. I'm thinking of making a power junk flex tube to make. Can do that. I've done. I would say. I think you said earlier that you don't have the biggest budget, so that's going to be really expensive to work out. The Stuk STG 44, also a really nice weapon. Yeah, on small arm, small arms, I really think pistols and something. Something small, bigger stuff. Rifles is, I think, either that Italian rifle that they used in Sniper Elite, or the Leonfield, the British one. I just love the look of it. And as weapons goes, submachine guns. I think the Brand gun, that looks just awesome. And really, submachine guns is kind of fun, but no. The Sten gun, I really love the scan gun for what it is, but no, I don't want to say it's my favorite. The Mass, I think the Mass 38 from France. Greenberg. The Luger is a cool gun. I own one. Lucky bastard. Great shooter, really comfortable. I think that's the thing. It's German. At some point, they got really good at producing quality pieces, and that was their downfall. Peter Groot, I agree on Luke. Sorry for asking to my Flickr. Don't worry about it. I've been showing everybody stuff off. Yeah, in the far future, I will create my most favorite plane in the world. Yay! I like to. Oh, the Russian one. That's the Russian one, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's quite a odd little thing to look at. Also, people standing on it. Great safety. I followed you, Dylan. Mr. Phipps, or by Chinese knockoff flex tube and normal notes. Do they produce like knockoff flex tube? Because I don't know. Brickman, the live stream won't work. Seems to be fine for me. I like it. Maybe the third is a little square, but I think. Then of course, cheers. I want to do the stick, but I stick to smaller builds. There's nothing wrong with smaller builds. If you go to my like Flickr account and go way back. Oh, well, I can do that. If I go way back, you can see. Let me go way back, then I can show off my older stuff. The Antonov A40 is my favorite Russian aircraft. Which one is this? Oh, yeah, that one is kind of funny. Yeah. But yeah. But yeah, going back to my Flickr account, this is some of my older stuff. I deleted some of the stuff, but like this Lloyd Carry, this is like the first design that I uploaded in 2011. My 2-pounder gun. So if you guys wondering what I've been building when I started here online, this is what's like my first few builds. This was a copy of the Brickmania Stewart at the time. I was able to, well, when I was looking at photos, closely looking at the photos of the Brickmania ones, I could more or less figure out how it was all built up, and I built it as the Australian version. It had like the cupola and everything going on. Have a few Australian soldiers on. One thing I didn't have back then was like any brick arms. When I started out, I didn't own any brick arms. So even like just like weapons and everything. Hey, Robrix, welcome. But yeah, this this photo was literally me having Robrix arm. So like this was a stand gun, and this was like the um, type 99 machine gun, something like that, and your brand guns. And this is how I personally started off. And Lewis Martin, welcome guys, welcome to the stream. But yeah, if you ever want to know how I started out building, to the very end of my stream, and this was 6 years ago, or nearly 6 years ago for me. It's more than 5 years ago, so yeah. So yeah, stuff I also did was like building scenes, which I went became quite well known for. I've been doing less and less, but I still keep them kind of for. I want to do something really fun and have something really special in mind. And because I'm going building a lot more detailed, because I'm going even more detailed, they take a lot of time to build. But this was like my first proper scene I did, and you can see like the bad editing here that I did with Paint. I for the longest time I used Paint to edit this and copied it, parts of it, and make it go away. So because there were like bricks here, and this way it was masked out. So yeah, that's like stuff when I was starting out, and I had 0 brick arms and like thing and just gearing up my builds. So this is my Lord Carrier. I think it updated at the time a little bit, and I fully geared it out, like heads, machine guns on it, gear boxes. I also did like silly stuff like giving some minifigures like big hair pieces and everything. So yeah, and sometimes gave them silly stories like this was called Fishing Part 1. Finally, some rest after a hard day of work. Will he catch something? So the guy's fishing with dynamite. So yeah, quite silly stuff. A little Kilroy, like drawings. At that point, I also bought like the Santa Fe. At some point, I found more scenes. And this photo, well, this next photo was quite literally the first brick arms that I won in a contest. The first brick arms I got, I never bought for myself. I entered in a contest, a World War II contest, without any brick arms. Up winning, and I could order for a specific budget, and these were my first brick arms. So for me, this meant the world at the time. By just getting them and winning, from the first time you get like brick arms, you go from, well, this is, and I thought it was, and it's really well detailed, but I thought this was a little bit bigger. So yeah, Warbreaks, your scenes are actually the best. Thank you. To Brickman, live stream shocking. Yeah, maybe because I'm now switching around so much with photos, may cause a little bit of lag. So sorry for that, but like stuff like this was my early work. So if you want to compare where I started in, like you guys are maybe now that far off or even worse than for some. But yeah, stuff like this, because I didn't have like enough parts. in the right color. So I built stuff in a lot of colors to just try it out, and it's just like my Ronaldo UAs that everybody knows. I already built back then, and the design that's current is more kind of closer to now than at some point was. So yeah, yeah, like the BMW bikes, and yeah, and how my German soldiers, like now I have like Brigitte Zemo soldiers and everything, and I then use just every also that looks similarly German. I used Flash stuff, and later on switched to yellow because it had more facial expressions. That was also more thing because I'm building. At the time, I was building a lot of scenes. It was easier to use yellow heads because more heads that are scared or more expressions to use. But specific build may need to go one page further for this, but no, it's here. Yes, this one. I built the first time I built a CV tank. This was my first design, and I still love the look of it. I kind of want to rebuild it as it was because it's kind of fun. It's not fantastic really compared to what I have now, but it works for me. This just works even to this day. 5 years later on, this just works for me. Whoa, I took this photo on October 17, 2011, so that is just over 5 years old. But for me, this is still a design that worked great. It was the flamethrower version, and you had like a version with a trailer for the flamethrower version, but also like tanks on it. So this is one with a tank on it. And I did like silly scenes like this, like burn baby burn, with a British shoulder just running away. Getting back for the comments for a moment. Mr. Fancy Pants. Actually, I don't own any brick arms. But I have a ton of Chinese knockoff car 98s and MG42s. Well, if that works, then works. To bring me now, you're working on any mock? At the moment, no. I'm more busy with vehicles and experimenting with stuff. Then because John sets a couple of sets had German tells that you could use in an every car mock. Yeah, I know. I also have a few of those. Then of course that's great. Does anyone know where to get French tank driver fix? Well, what I used 35. Well, when are you gonna get a video on all your vehicles? I did record one, but I kind of want to re-record it. But I am going to do one. I kind of need to do one this year, but I am going to do that Green Red Wolf one on all my vehicles. But these are the French tankers that French tanker style that that I'm using. These are adventure torsos. Well, that's loading. It said they stopped. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but tons of fun stuff. I have a few sets. It's a shame I didn't buy more of them, but oh well. Well, they did stop making movies. Also true. Kind of hard to make sets without the popularity. Well, I think in the end it's still popular, but maybe it's also for Lego. They don't like war stuff, like proper war stuff. So World War II is a really a no-go. World War One, and sometimes kind of close to touching that. But as for the French tanker minifigs, I use the torsos of where is it? This guy from the Adventurer sets. This is already a little bit older as themes go, but has been in production for a long time. But I use these torsos. They come kind of close to how French tankers look like. So if you ever torsos like this, you need to look here. And they're also relatively cheap and also quite great for other armies to have. So these are kind of worthy buys for a more purest way of minifig building. Movies based on 1980 to oh yeah, Indiana Jones has more stuff going on, if I'm right, but never watched that stuff. Oh, thanks. I actually own one of those torsos and barrettes. Now, well, one step closer to a tanker. Mr. Fancy Pants, but hey, but Star Wars was in it. For Lego, it is it's more like Close War. So also like pirates are okay, the Middle Age are okay, but it kind of stops like 100 years ago. You have like your soaped camels, like your Fokkers, they also did at some point before the big Arab craft. Those are okay, but like modern military stuff or from now, like violence, that's really a no-go. If I want to stand at Lego Worlds in the Netherlands, there's also like a rule where you do not allow military stuff. You're really breaking one of the rules. So everything from about 100 years ago is pretty much a no-go. So yeah, and I also can understand it because at the same time, if you have something like cops and robbers, it's quite clear who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. The robber is always in the fault, and like if you also have like the middle edge of like your good kingdom and your bad kingdom, that's quite clear why they are fighting, or with pirates and the British or however they do it. But it's quite clear that pirates are bad, so it's quite black and white at that point on who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. And with war, like the Second World War and World War One, it really isn't that easy. It really isn't that black and white. It's also more of a gray, because at the end of the day, history is written by the winners, not by the losers. So that's one thing. So if Germany would have won, history, how we know it this day, would be a little bit different, a lot different. But at the same time, at the end of the day, we all can agree that the war, it's like the Second World War, it wasn't great. It got a lot of people killed and whatever. But at the same time, everything that Germany did was like starting a war and invading countries. You can easily say, I think that's not good, right? But at the same time, the Allies went on the attack back and fighting for your own country and liberating your allies. But there's also stuff like the bombing campaign of the Royal Air Force on German cities. That I understand why they did it, but like from a moral standpoint, just bombing innocent civilians for the largest extent is quite cruel. So, and I can't say that was the most or the best moment for the RAF and Bomber Command to bomb innocent civilians. But compared to the RAF to the United or the American Air Force, they were to the very end quite, until they dropped our atomic bomb, they were quite clear on, we want to have a strategic moment. we want to have like a proper target, like a weapons factory or whatever. The only moment they really stepped down from away from that is when they dropped atomic bomb, but which was also on a large city. So yeah, but at the same time, you can also say, well, yeah, they did that, like dropped a atomic bomb, but at the same time, it was to really get Japan to say, okay, we're done because we're just gonna get all killed, because if America would have invaded Japan, it would have been another mess on a whole another scale. So it was probably the best of two evils. So yeah, but like the Second World War and the First World War it's not black and white who the bad guy and who the good guy was. It's a lot more gray, because the Allies fought with the best of intentions, but some stuff happened that probably can't be called the best of intentions sometimes. So yeah. So I think that's also a bigger part of the reason, because it really is more of a gray area than a black and white one. And all another things probably that maybe little to do with religion and so forth. So quite heavy in that, what you don't really have like Star Wars. And because it's so far in the future, it's kind of hard to imagine it happening to us. So it's the same with pirates that's so far in the past. Like the pirates that they portray and so on, it's kind of hard to imagine that you're stuff like that, like a pirate ship is those type of pirate ships opening full broadside on a passenger ship nowadays. So yeah. To bring me, what's the best tip in making videos? Because when I try, I never have the right piece, because all of my step laser are on the big bins. How I build is, first off, if I build a vehicle, I first off proper research, and after that, build it generally in speaking in all the colors. When that's done, I put it into LDD, and then I generally start figuring out if I have all the parts and what I need to order. So that's generally my way. So first off, making proper research, building a rainbow colored vehicle. After that, putting it LDD, figure out, then I have a nice parts list to work with, figure out if I have all the parts and what I need to buy, and then I buy it and the parts, and then I build it. So yeah. Brick move. The stream is still going. Yes, the stream is still going, but I'm starting to feel my voice a little bit, so it won't be much longer. But we're getting close to 3 hours in. Like 30 minutes. It's like another 3 hours in, so that's quite long. Peter, do you know how I could get MBC capes here in Holland? Because I think the shipping will be way too expensive from. So, not sure. There aren't any official ways on. So far, I know to get them. Brickyzimo doesn't have them officially. I do know they had at some point a few samples, which some of them I bought, but they don't have it on their website. So, and I don't even know if they have them anymore. So maybe they already sold them to someone else. So. For Europe, I don't know. I'm really not that big into all the different types of sellers here. But as for shipping goes from Australia, I think it will be all right, because those codes are literally codes that you need to fold. So they are quite thin to pack. So in a bubble, an envelope with air in it, with the bubbles thingy in it, I don't think it will get a lot bigger than that. And the weight is also should be quite low because of its fabric, so it's not that heavy. So in the overall, I don't think it would be the cheapest, but I don't think it would be the most expensive of like getting a Brickmania kit out, like buying a Brickmania kit from I think you will be a lot more tax a lot more extra money on that. That will cost a lot more extra money. So yeah, it won't be the cheapest, but I think it will be relatively okay. But Daniel, because I'm quite tempted to do a hamburger hill mark, or should I hamburg? Okay, it's a Vietnam, but okay, I am not that well known with Vietnam. So that doesn't say a lot to me. I would need to look it up. Green another bit. Daniel, because I can't just find that many cheap Marines, but I'm prototyping a Huey. That's a fun helicopter. I made like a model kit once of one. I quite like the look of the Huey helicopter. Ben Builds, hi there, welcome. Mr. Fancy Pants, I've decided to get the CB track links to review them if they are good enough. Well, I'm looking for I hope they are some a worthy purchase. I don't think they're bad to buy. I don't think it's a bad product to buy. I just don't have any personal experience with them, so I can't really recommend them. If it was to be about Brickmere twiglings for smaller vehicles, always use the Lego ones. Larger ones, if you want to be a bit more save a bit of money, I would go with the double wide ones for like some builds like Sherman's. It works easily. Your Pencil Force, maybe it's not. I think then maybe the Lego ones, and one thing I do like is like the Help Wide ones. It gives a lot of options, at least. But yes, this stream is still going. But I think the coming 30, somewhere in the coming 15 to 40 minutes, I'm going to end it because I'm really starting to feel my voice, or starting to feel it a little bit from all the talking. And for the moment, the chat is also slowing down. So I think I have had more. I think I talked about most questions. Oh yeah, I wanted to show something else, something fun. I won. Mr. Fence, yeah, I have enough parts to make a couple of Shermans, so I'm thinking of saving up for the double wide. Yeah, like if you do the buy the brick menu ones or the CB ones, I think you get a better deal of than like you get the ankle, because they are a bit more expensive. Also, if you look at the screen now, this is something I won, and this may not say a lot to you guys. Well, but this I recently got this in my Gmail, and it was from the Mighty Jingles, and I won a code for an aircraft in World of Warplanes, which was quite nice. At some point, I was doing a video about World of Warplanes, and you could enter into a 30 premium aircraft, and I entered it, and I apparently won. I won a premium aircraft in World of Warplanes, which was quite amazing. So yeah, I never win this kind of stuff. So yay for me! It's quite a fun aircraft. HE100. But for anybody wondering, it's this aircraft. But I won this aircraft. It's not a bad aircraft to fly. It's quite fun. I played a few games, and World World of Warplanes, it's actually gotten quite good again. Personally, at some point, a few times, I really got into the fighting and really looked quite amazing. So yeah. Aye, Mighty Jingles. Congrats, man. Thanks. Get back to the salt mines. Oh, hell, Lighty Gnome King. And Boo. Don't forget Boo. Yeah, we shouldn't forget Boo. If I'm thinking of making the plane, not really. Well, it's a quite a fun looking plane. It wasn't that. It was like prototype stage, so yeah. Not sure if I going to build it anytime soon, but I may do it at some point. So yeah. Mm. Is there anything else I can talk about? Mm. Some Heisenberg photos. Yeah, I'm kind of personally running out of conversation material. Are you guys? Do you guys need to know anything else about me for now, or can I about end this stream and come back in a month or so, maybe a little bit longer, because fun to do once they get going. But I've been talking for getting close to 3 hours now, so that's quite a while. So yeah. Is there anything else? Fancy Pants, you can rest now from the question spam. Yeah, but I don't mind it that much, because as long as there are questions or stuff to talk about, I can keep going. But now is that moment. But now is that one of those moments that I just kind of stop talking, because first half hour I was talking mostly about for myself, and now yeah, and then at that point I just want to keep going with you guys, and that's also the moment when I generally end it if the question run out. But yeah. Yeah, great messages. Green Red Wolf. Are you playing Fallout 4? Have fun. Green Red. Also, I've been here the whole time. Yeah, you guys. Some of you guys have been here really long. Also, Peter, you too. Don't you guys have anything better to do? Saying the person who's holding the stream. I have 3 dislikes on my stream. Well, one is from myself. Great fun. I'm disliking my own stream. Hurrah! 19 likes. Huzzah! Ooh, I see new stuff on Flickr. I spot Renault UA. Ooh. The breaks persons. Bye later. Yeah. But yeah, I think this. If for the final seven, well, six that are watching, I'm also watching. Oh yeah, it's vacation time still in the northern parts of Mr. Fancy Pants. I was waiting for the stream since Wednesday. How sad. I sometimes know the feelings, but I was quite clear in stating the starting time. So yeah, you shouldn't have really waited and just joined just before I started. So yeah, but I do like to announce these streams kind of early on, like a week beforehand, because I kind of find it nice to let people know that I'm actually doing this beforehand. Because I once started the stream kind of out of the blue, and well, not as much people joined as joined, and it wasn't bad or anything. But I like it when a lot of people. At least a few dozen people are watching, and I have this feeling that I'm really talking to, well, a few people at least, and I'm getting responses back and everything. I quite like that, so I really announce a stream ahead of time so people can go, oh yeah, he's doing that, then maybe I have time for it. So yeah. Mr. Fancy Pants, that was also today when I said, well, welcome, Mr. Fancy Pants. I hope the coming time to upload a few videos, so you can get a bit of word out of your subscription. But welcome, you're very welcome. And still your name, I'm still thinking of the online game, and now also on Steam, so yeah. But yeah. But yeah, well, I'm not going to. I'm really going to end it in the coming few minutes. So if you have any final questions, please let me know, because I'm going to end it and take a bit of rest after that, because I think I earned it after talking for nearly 3 hours. Mr. Fancy, yeah, I believe I remember you making great answers. Yeah, that was early this year, and then some shit happened. So yeah, I subbed for your TV 33 mark. That was a while ago. Well, for me, it was my Well, for me, it was my 16, 8-year-old party artist stream. So this stream is getting me through tonight. Well, you should spend a little bit of time with your sister, I think, on her birthday party. But yeah, I'm not going to say what you should or should not do. Mr. Films, I think was one tank and one car. Okay. Up next. Oh yeah, you, Mr. Fancy Pants, you subscribed 6 days ago. I can see it. You also have a decent amount of followers yourself. I think I checked out your channel a few days ago already. Whatever floats your boat. Peter, there are 20 of our friends downstairs. Yay. Probably getting drunk because she's turned 18. Well, I'm currently doing the same thing. Because, well, I'm not really getting drunk of one beer, but the idea is the same. So yeah. But yeah. That must be major fun having 20 or so of our friends getting drunk downstairs. But yeah. So yeah, let me see. Plan something planning for the coming month. Well, the coming month, I kind of hope to do something more video reviewy. Uh, any marks for this year are probably not going to happen. Like proper marks, like with houses and everything. That's for next year. Probably the coming, the last 2 months, I'm probably going to focus on building a few small things, working out small detailing things, and for the rest, probably a few vehicles. I may do some Italian armor, some of the tank destroyers of Italy, or self-propelled guns. I think that's a bit more correct, but that's probably what's going to happen. Then Curtis, I'm not even going to try that. Saying that means you're the best in Russian. Well, thank you. But I'm shaking around in my room because of the music. Peter, are you going to do a live stream every month? Maybe. I'm not going to do one every week because I want to keep live streams somewhat special, and they are, well, we are 3 hours in at this moment, so it's enough time in the day to do something like this. So once a month, maybe one, maybe one every month, or maybe one every 2 months. Around that is kind of neat. At that point, I have new stuff to talk about. I think you guys also have new questions for me. Maybe I also can help you guys with a new build at that point. But yeah, so probably one time a month, or every 2 months, something around that. I think they stay special at that point for me, and I probably hope for you, because if I do this every week, I think I will. The current way I'm doing this, I think it will get boring, or I also need to maybe invite people, and I just don't want to invite every random person I do before and want to know the person that I would invite to talk along with. Still, I think that would be fun. But that's kind of how I'm running live streams. Not more than probably once a month or something really special needs to happen. But at that point, yeah, it stays special. Greenberg. So at the beginning of the stream, you said to PM you would for the LD of the car. Any case, I could swap the car for that French artillery gun. Which one? I have two, but you give me another $2, so let's talk about it. I think we can work it out. Dylan Curtis, you pronounce it Vashlushi? Vashlushi. I think I'm making that effort. I hope to converse with you into comment. I'm sure we will converse. Generally speaking, if you guys comment on a video, if it's not, generally speaking, comments like it's great or nice, I generally give it like a little thumbs up. If you like, go a bit, make a somewhat longer comment like I like it for X reason, or generally speaking, I fucking hell, Green Bird Wolf. But generally, if the comments a little bit longer, or just goes in a bit of build, I'm generally reply back. If it's just like it's great, just give it, generally speaking, a thumbs up. So yeah. So yeah, you never know. But Green Bread Wolf, I'm going to give you both at this point. I will message you over Flickr. That I think that will be the easy one later on. And you're getting the cars, and you can have the Canon. I think then the deal is sweet enough, but I really don't want to make it this way to use live streams as a way of getting LDD files. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it here for today, because, well, I'm tired. Dylan, this is like Lego drug running. Well, I always felt like a little bit like a dealer. So yeah, yeah. I think this is the new profession for me. So yeah, but really, guys, I'm going to end it here. It's getting close to midnight here now. So and now that I'm officially feeling like a drug runner of Lego, I think it's a good place to end for tonight, because I think stuff is getting even crazier here, because before I know it, I'm going to sell cocaine to everybody here. So, yeah. Rebla to instruction dealer. Yes, that's me. So, guys, I'm going to say until the next time. It's been fun, but it's been a long evening now, so I'm going to rest a little bit and probably sleep in a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. Good night, all. Albert's instruction. Oh my god.